These were the craziest death penalties in history. So up until the 18th century, India would execute rebels or thieves by having a trained elephant delimb them before stomping on their head or body. Similarly, Incas in Peru would execute criminals by llama stampedes as part of ceremonious executions. France would utilize the brazen bull, in which they'd burn criminals alive inside of a bronze bull statue, while the Chinese would practice lynchy, or death by 1,000 cuts, in which they would slowly slice the flesh of somebody until it led to blood loss or shock. This was actually done into the 1900s, in fact. Japan used to boil criminals alive in water or oil, especially Christians who refused to renounce their faith. Ivan the Terrible would impale victims on a sharpened stake, and it would take them sometimes days to die. It was meant to terrorize enemies to get information and to send messages. Persia would execute victims by placing them in buildings and then intentionally collapsing the buildings with stones, crushing them. But finally, in ancient Persia is where the worst punishment in history would be, called scaphism, which is where victims would lie in a canoe, force-fed milk, and then smeared with honey and left in a swamp. Insects at this point would slowly eat them alive, but it would take sometimes weeks until they ultimately died. That's crazy.